Hi.
Graces.
I'm Topher.
And I'm Ashley, coming to you tonight from our dining room. The best wallpaper in our house.
That's true.
It is, yes. We hope everyone out there is well and staying safe. We're so disappointed that we can't be together tonight at the Beverly Hilton, but are so glad that you've joined us virtually for CASA LA Live. Just by tuning in tonight, you are supporting the children and youth of LA County's foster care system.
Now, I'm a little technologically challenged, but I actually spent all night last night on my laptop here and figuring out a way to splice like different clips in and sound effects and stuff to just make it feel more like we're actually all together in the same room.
Oh, I don't think that we need to do any of that. No, they just said just open the event and then, just introduce.
It's fine. It'll just give us a feeling, liven things up and make it feel more live, basically.
Okay.
Just trust me on this. Are you guys ready to get started? I can't hear you. I said, are you guys ready to get started? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, just make sure you don't add too many of those.
Don't worry about it. I won't.
Okay. Seriously, though, we obviously wish this event could have been live, but we are living in unprecedented times. But I have to say, Topher's actually been really good with handling the time off of work. And even though I'm 8 months pregnant, given everything that's going on, I'd say I've managed to stay pretty relaxed.
Tell me what you're doing! You don't know what you're doing!
And honestly, it's been really wonderful to get in some quality family time with our 2.5-year-old. We've just been staying indoors and trying to stay sane.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end.
Right?
Yeah, we're doing great over here. The good news is we have an amazing night planned for you guys. Crystal Joy Brown will be singing a song from Hamilton. We'll hear from some CASAs themselves, as well as a performance by a very special CASA youth, not to mention a new short film, which, don't worry, I didn't edit, about this incredible organization that you guys will be the first ever to see.
And don't forget, we have some amazing auction items that will be open to bid on through May 12th at bidpal.net/CASA Live. There's a golf and spa vacation in Nueva Vallarta.
Sure.
Something like that. A flight on the Goodyear airship, a 7-night stay in a 300-year-old manor house in Normandy, France. That's just to name a few. So our auctioneer, Gabriel, will tell you all about the items and how to bid on them.
There's an in-home wine tasting experience, a sunset cruise, a weekend getaway at the new Miramar Resort in Santa Barbara that we should definitely bid on.
Yeah. Of course, the reason that we are all here tonight is to support the critical work that CASA does with children in foster care right here in our own community. CASA volunteers are making sure that these kids are getting educational and medical services and ensuring that they're safe. Most of all, CASA volunteers are a stable adult that these children can count on, no matter what crisis is happening. So please, support the children and youth in LA County's foster care system by donating tonight and by bidding on auction items at bidpal.net/CASA Live. We cannot do it without you. And now, I'd like to introduce you to the woman who heads up the incredible work being done in Los Angeles, the CEO of CASA LA, Wendy Julian. Her work at CASA is a combination of her personal passion and her professional expertise. She is an attorney, a former foster parent, an adoptive parent, a CASA volunteer, and a friend and personal inspiration. Please welcome Wendy Julian.
Hi everyone, this is Wendy Julian, CEO of CASA of Los Angeles. Welcome to CASA LA Live. I'm coming to you from my backyard and to say welcome and thank you for supporting court-appointed special advocates, CASA of Los Angeles. It's an extraordinary organization that I'm so proud to be a part of. And in times of challenge, CASAs know how to step up. I know this is a challenge that we're all confronting. You can see it's a challenge for my hair. It's certainly a challenge as I'm trying to teach my first grader. But in all reality, it's also a tremendous challenge for our community with levels of unemployment like we've never seen in our lifetime, like our businesses and our institutions and our schools and our families struggling. And in times when things like this hit, when there's a crisis, it hits hardest in our communities that are most vulnerable. And there is no one more vulnerable than children who are victims of abuse and have been removed from the state and put into foster care. Can you imagine what it's like to be in foster care today? Foster care is never a fair or fun place to be. It's always isolating. But imagine today when there are limited visits with family and when it's difficult to be able to get out and see people you know. In foster care, it's always difficult to access good education. But imagine today without the right laptop or without good Wi-Fi or without the opportunity to see your teachers or coaches or your classmates or people you count on. In foster care, mental health access is always an issue. And imagine today where all of that therapy is happening on the telephone and there isn't always a safe and quiet place to do it. In foster care, our courts are overwhelmed. And imagine today when the courts are only hearing emergency cases and setting cases forward 6 months to a year. It must feel like for our kids that foster care is never going to end. But CASA of Los Angeles has a solution. We followed the science and the research, and we know that trauma and separation can only be healed by caring adults in a child's life. And that is exactly what CASA of Los Angeles does. We recruit and we train volunteers, everyday people like you and me, who work to advocate for the life of one child. And let me tell you, those CASA volunteers have stepped up like you can't believe during this pandemic. I've seen them delivering laptops, delivering groceries. They're calling, they're FaceTiming, they're emailing with their kids. They're talking to social workers. They're making sure they have access to school. They're sending reports to the judges. They're talking to the children's lawyers. They are doing amazing things, but most importantly, they are a person that our kids can count on, that they can call and that they know is there for them. I'm so proud of our CASA volunteers and our organization, and we were devastated when we learned we had to cancel our gala because we run a lean machine at CASA of Los Angeles and we earn almost 20% of our revenue in the evening of the gala. But you can help us with that. You can help us keep our doors open. You can help us keep our wheels rolling by clicking on the link below, making a donation, big or small. I would be so appreciative of it, and so would our kids. I'm so excited next to get to introduce you to the big debut of our CASA video. It's an exciting new video that shows what we do that we'll be able to share far and wide. This video would never have happened without the extraordinary work of our staff members and the CASA volunteers who participated, and especially the beautiful CASA youth that you will see. But it came together because of the vision and work of Ashley Grace. And I'm so thankful to Ashley and thankful to Ashley and Topher for being with us tonight. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I wish you from the bottom of my heart health and happiness, just what I wish for all of our CASA kids. Thank you.
CASA is such a formal term, court-appointed special advocates, but what it really means at the end of the day is people in the community treating the children who are being served by children's court, children who've experienced abuse and neglect, like our own kids, and being a person that they can count on. So the foster care system in Los Angeles County is by far the largest in the nation, with over 30,000 children. That's as many kids as would fill Staples Center. Our courtrooms are overwhelmed, our social workers are overwhelmed, our attorneys are overwhelmed. There are best practices about how many cases you should have, and in Los Angeles, we're nowhere close to where that should be. It's easy to think about that as such a big problem that what could I possibly do? But CASA has a one-on-one approach where one by one, we are attaching ourselves to one of those children and walking them through this process.
I think kids walking into a dependency courtroom for the first time are scared. They don't understand necessarily why they're there or what's going on. That's one of the reasons why in my courtroom I try to make it child-friendly and comfortable.
I'm Marguerite Downing. I'm a judge in Department 407 at Edelman's Children's Court. A lot of these children are from broken homes. Their exposure to positive role models doesn't happen, and so they really don't believe that they can really be anything.
When I hear the system is broken, I believe it because I'm in the system. I've been in the system. Our voices really don't get heard as an individual. If I didn't get a CASA, honestly, I'd be a little lost.
I was put into a group home, and it's scary out there. When I met Latanya, she completely gave me a different perspective on life. And without her, I wouldn't be here today. She's my educational rights holder. She was that advocate for me as well. And that's the reason why I turned my straight Fs in sophomore year to straight A's in junior year.
We've had 3 other placements where the amount of bureaucracy and heartache and like navigating the system is so difficult.
It is scary to go through the system. It is scary to be an adoptive family. It is scary to have done this 3 other times.
Every child deserves a childhood. They should not have to deal with courts and social workers only. They should be dealing with humans.
As a CASA volunteer, you are not a foster parent. You're not bringing the child home to live with you. You're not adopting them. What you're doing is focusing on small tasks that you can change the child's life forever by engaging in them.
And the CASA is the one person who knows how to watch deadlines for financial aid applications for college, applying for a driver's license, getting the tutoring you need. And those are the little types of things that someone can be making sure is happening in their lives.
For some of these kids, they have multiple caregivers. They go to multiple different schools. They have multiple different social workers. So all those pieces change. I think when a child's CASA is there, they know that's my person.
I think just being at the end of the phone when there was nobody there that he'd be comfortable talking to, I think is a big deal too.
LA is facing numerous huge problems, homelessness, substance abuse, and they do seem overwhelming and impossible to solve. But making an impact on one child is completely in our capacity as one person. We can do it. It does work.
I think CASA is unbelievably important, especially in a large county like Los Angeles, where there are so many children and so many services available but needing to be identified, and the social workers are so overworked. I've had a lot of different experiences in my 34 years as a CASA, but I've never, ever regretted taking this journey. It's been absolutely worth it.
After knowing her for these years, she's my best friend. She's my, best friend. Even after I grow out of the system, I'd still want her to be in my life.
He takes a lot of tension just off my shoulder, like, it's okay. In a way, my wall's down. He just makes you feel, like you're cared about. And it's like, I'm blessed. I'm honestly blessed.
What Rennie has done for us since she's been a part of our lives, since she's been a part of Jewel's life, it has changed the game for us.
Someone that's going to track this baby through the whole system, no matter if a social worker comes or goes, if a lawyer comes or goes, that there's someone that has their eye on this baby.
Kids in the foster system are not all sad and broken. We all want to do good for ourselves.
Watching the extraordinary growth and success of going to college graduations and seeing our former clients become attorneys and judges and doctors and thrive, it's extraordinary because they've done it themselves. They had this within them, but sometimes the intervention of someone like a CASA volunteer, like a mentor, like a teacher or a coach who takes the time and effort to care for one kid who's not their kid, it can change the trajectory just enough that it gives this young person the opportunity to have the strength they need to do exactly what we knew they could always do, and they knew they could do.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Savoy Brown. I'm Camille Killian. I have attended CASA of LA's galas for a few years, and you went with me last year for the first time. And every year I'm reminded that there are over 30,000 children in the foster care system in LA County alone. That is the largest number in our country. These kids, they live in our communities. They might live next door to you, or in a group home down the street, or unfortunately, a lot of these kids actually are homeless and live on the street. I don't think people realize how urgent and far-reaching of a need this is.
But did you know that CASA of Los Angeles can help provide these children in foster care with a consistent dedicated adult to rely on, CASA of Los Angeles recruits and trains community volunteers to work one-on-one with these children to help them get the support and services that they need. The volunteers get to know the children, get to know their circumstances. They get to show them that someone cares and advocate for their best interests, which might be writing court reports or making recommendations to the court.
CASA volunteers encourage these kids to grow to their fullest potential, and they become involved in key issues in their life, especially in school and in their physical health, maybe helping coordinate doctor's appointments with their mental health, and most importantly, in my opinion, CASA volunteers make sure that these kids have a safe and stable place to call home. Now, because of what we learn every year at the CASA galas, this year we decided that we wanted to become more involved with CASA. And we started by visiting CASA LA at the Children's Court earlier this year. That was a really hard day for us. It was very eye-opening. We saw hundreds of kids in court, an adult place. These kids should have been doing what your kids were doing that day, hanging out with friends, or at school, or at Disneyland for the first time, or talking to their crush, playing on the playground. But instead, they were in court. Children that we saw as young as 4 stood before a judge and listened as that judge determined the course of their life, determined if they were going to stay in the home that they were brought up in, if they were going to move into foster care, if they were going to move in with a family member. These kids are forced to grow up really fast, and it's hard to see. But the kids that we saw were the lucky ones, because they had a CASA in the room with them. And what that meant was that they had someone to advocate for them, someone to tell the judge their opinion on what's best for this child because of the personal relationship they have formed with them. Those kids are lucky. It means that they have a better shot at life. You can become one of these CASA volunteers and help one of over 200 kids who are on the waiting list for a CASA right now. Or you can make a donation.
You know what else you can do? You can make a bid on a silent auction item. Or you can...
I did that, by the way.
You bid?
Yeah, by the way.
Oh.
I bid on an item. But A,
that's good.
Raising money for CASA. B,
yes, CASA.
Hey, we might get a really cool rock climbing adventure in LA.
So do that, but also communicate with your partner first.
But definitely bid.
But then bid. Or you can help spread CASA's mission by sharing this video, which can be watched over and over again on YouTube.
And we will keep doing the work to raise the funds we need to continue our work in the foster care system. And we'll be sure to keep you posted on our journey with CASA of LA.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Hello, I'm Lou Lucido, and my wife and I are proud to be underwriting sponsors for this year's first and hopefully only virtual CASA Gala. As you may be aware, the CASA Gala is a very important fundraiser for us, and we're delighted that all of you are participating with us this evening. You know, my wife and I have been broad supporters of CASA for a number of years, as we firmly believe in the work that they do in terms of impacting and changing the life outcome for the kids that we serve. Not only do we have an impact relative to education, but medical and placement rights for our children, but really the psychological well-being of these kids is really, really critically important, especially now in this time of need. As you may be aware, more often than not, the CASA volunteer is the only non-transient relationship from an adult that our children have. So please join me in supporting CASA LA. Our work is more important than ever, based on the times that unfortunately we find ourselves in. I personally want to thank Wendy Julian, our CEO, Harriet Zareski. We hoped to be personally there congratulating Renee Bilson, who's done such fantastic work for us. And hopefully next year we can have this event in person. Thank you so much, and please continue your support for everything that we do. Thank you.
Yo, what's up? It's 24K Golden, and I'm about to perform a little song for y'all to help support the efforts of CASA in Los Angeles, because foster kids in care needs your support. So this is my song, A Lot to Lose. Take a look at my lifestyle right now, a lot for me to lose. Ain't always in the right, like right now, a lot for me to prove. Say you love me, but you hate me at the same time. Said I love you, but you tell me that you ain't mine. Take a look at my lifestyle right now, a lot for me to lose. You say you don't know me anymore. What we fighting for? I thought you were tripping when you asked me, do you even love me anymore? Now I do not know, cause you been acting different since last week. No time to fight now, barely got time for me. Can't afford to lose right now. I'm just chasing my dreams. Ups and downs get me off this roller coaster. You can't see that I love you even if I told ya. Take a look at my lifestyle right now, a lot for me to lose. Ain't always in the right, like right now, a lot for me to prove. Say you love me, but you hate me at the same time. Said I love you, you tell me you ain't mine. Take a look at my lifestyle right now, a lot for me to lose. When it all falls apart in the dark, who you come crying to? If you are who you say who you are, you know I'm trying to. Take a look at my lifestyle right now, a lot for me to lose. Ain't always in the right, like right now, a lot for me to prove. Say you love me, but you hate me at the same time. Said I love you, but you tell me that you ain't mine. Take a look at my lifestyle right now, a lot for me to lose. Have a great day, y'all.
Good evening. My name is Gabriel Butu, and I'm your official auctioneer for CASA LA Live this evening. You'll be seeing me a few times throughout the show where I'll be guiding you through the different ways that you can bid and donate and show your support tonight. And right now, I'm going to tell you about 3 featured items that you can only bid on right now during this broadcast for the next hour, with the highest bidder at the end of the show being the winner. So there's item 101, Up, Up and Away in the Goodyear Airship, although you and I probably know it as the Goodyear Blimp. A once-in-a-lifetime trip to the sky for you and the family or whoever you want to take with you. And it's legitimately priceless. You cannot buy seats on the Goodyear Blimp. The only place in the world you can actually get some tonight is in our auction. And that's thanks to Goodyear's support of CASA LA. Now maybe instead of ballooning across the sky, you'd like to jet across the sky or the pond, as the case may be, for item 102. Spectacular private manor house in Normandy, France, where you'll be living like lords and ladies for a week, Downton Abbey French style, in this 18th century manor house near the magical Isle of Mont Saint-Michel, which the Disney castle was based on. That's 7 nights for 10 people, and in light of COVID, you have till spring to decide when you want to go. And of course, item 103, goodness me, luxury golf and spa vacation in Nuevo Vallarta, but the title does not do this justice. This is a week in a paradisical oasis of luxury. Voted by Travel and Leisure as a world's best resort, 16 free rounds at the Greg Norman Design Golf Course included in the winning package. And for those more interested in relaxing to the max, you got free massages, pools, the beach, and 40 on-site restaurants and lounges to kick back in. This is a $2,500 a night Grand Lux suite that sleeps 6. But thanks to Vedanta Resorts' support of CASA, you can start the bidding at $2,500 for all 7 nights. So boogie board down on over to the auction page now. Place your bids on all these 3 featured items because they will close within the next hour at the end of this broadcast. So do not dilly-dally. And remember, the proceeds from your winning bids all go to support CASA's vital one-on-one advocacy.
Our first performer is a Broadway theater and television actress, best known for her portrayal of Diana Ross in the Broadway hit Motown the Musical. She's a 2-time Adele and Fred Astaire nominee for Best Female Dancer in a Broadway Show and is currently the star of Broadway's Hamilton. Please welcome Crystal Joy Brown.
Hi, I'm Crystal Joy Brown from the cast of Broadway's Hamilton, and I am so excited to share with you my performance of That Would Be Enough for CASA LA Live tonight. I play Elizabeth Hamilton, who in real life was the co-founder of the first privately owned orphanage in New York City. like the character I play. I hope that we can all support children and youth in foster care, and I can think of no better organization that is committed to the protection, safety, support, and love of children and youth in the foster care system than CASA LA. So thank you so much for supporting them, and I hope that you enjoy this video and beautiful, beautiful Broadway. I hope that we get to see you soon in the theater, and thank you in advance for all of your generous support.
Look around at how lucky we are to be alive right now. Look around and look around. Look at where you are. Look at where you started. The fact that you're alive is a miracle. Just stay alive, that would be enough. And if this child shares a fraction of your smile or a fragment of your mind, look out, world, that would be enough. I don't pretend to know the challenges you're facing, the world you keep erasing and creating in your mind. But I'm not afraid, I know I'm married, so long as you come home at the end of the day, that would be enough. We don't need a legacy, we don't need money. If I could grant you peace of mind, if you could let me inside your heart, oh, let me be a part of the narrative in the story they will write someday. Let this moment be the first chapter where you decide to stay. And I could be enough, and we could be enough. That would be enough.
Hi, my name is Erin Foster and I'm a CASA. I think that we all get to a point in our life where we want to give back in a way that feels meaningful instead of just going to a charity and giving money here or there. We want to really dig in and actually be active in an area. And it's important that you find something that you really can dig into and that you really care about. And I hadn't found that until I became a CASA and started going to the classes and went to the first seminar. Because, whether you care about education or you care about gang violence or you care about taking care of the planet or you care about the next generation, all of those issues funnel into this group of kids that are lacking in resources and don't have the basic necessities to become the kind of adult that they deserve to become. And you have this opportunity to focus on one kid who's in the system who really needs someone to look out for them. And all you have to do is be consistent and care and show up for them. And once you meet your kid, you want to do that. And you go and you sit in these courtrooms and I thought about how in my mind before I became a CASA and got involved with CASA, I always assumed that the foster care system was broken. But the truth is, it's not broken at all. It's actually a great system filled with people who really care and are really trying, but it's an overwhelmed system. And it's a system that needs help. So you can have a great lawyer, but if they have 87 kids that they're looking out for, it's literally impossible for them to do a good job for each one of those kids. And the same goes for judges. And these people really want to help these kids. But you have an opportunity to get in there and check in on this kid and only focus on them. And there's a lot of power in that.
So I believe really strongly in what CASA is doing, and I think that they are paying attention to the kids that need the most help, and you have an opportunity to really make a difference by showing up for them. And so I am always in awe of what they're doing, and I'm always looking for ways to help them. And it's been an extremely rewarding thing for me to be a part of, and I just feel so lucky that I found it. And I really hope that we can raise some money and that we can get some more volunteers, because there are so many kids who need CASAs, and it really makes a difference for them. And they're also really underfunded and need a lot of help financially, and they won't be able to have their gala properly this year. So I really hope that we can raise some money, because nobody deserves it more than them.
My name is Junior, 15. So I was in the system at a really young age, and then I was going foster to foster homes until 4.5, got adopted, and then I got taken again, I'd say around like fully 12, and then finally got my first residential to get treatment, and then got put into a group home. I had a lot of people walking in on my life so much times. The past couple of years have been really hard, I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't think, to be honest, I'd be here to this day.
When I met Junior, I knew that there was a lot of trauma there. And I knew that he had trust issues. I mean, I could just see that almost immediately. And I think maybe it made an impression on him that I wasn't coming in like, I know who you are and I know what you need and I know what's supposed to happen here.
When I hear the system is broken, I believe it, because I'm in the system. I've been in the system. Our voices really don't get heard as an individual. If I didn't get a CASA, honestly, I'd be a little lost. That's someone to hear your voice, to be your voice, to echo your voice.
I cannot change the whole system, but I am in charge of the time I spend with one person. And I've seen the difference that it can make when a kid is just listened to. And I think the role of a CASA is so valuable because we're able to kind of step back and look, well, this is what's going on in all of these different areas. Is there a common theme here? Is there something that a lawyer wouldn't see or that a caseworker wouldn't see that can reveal something about what might help this child?
My CASA Sam, he just doesn't give up like other people. He's not out to get me. I don't know how else to put it.
One person can be the tipping point that can turn a life that goes in the direction of positive, or without that, like little nudge, can take the other direction. Well, if you can nudge that in a direction where somebody feels like maybe they have a chance, maybe they have somebody in their corner, maybe they have someone who believes in them and believes them to be of value, that can change everything.
Sam to me is just, he'll be considered a part of a family in a way. So I could just say I'm really blessed for my family that I currently have right now. Family's who you make it.
You know, we're not saviors or superheroes or anything like that. We're just people who open ourselves to the possibility of being present with one other person. That's it. That's it. I confess that when they showed me that video for the first time, I cried. But what made me feel so much about it wasn't just seeing Junior and me and, you know, kind of what that relationship is. I feel so deeply about it because of CASA as a whole. It's this extraordinary organization that changes the lives of foster children. And I get so much out of this. You know, when it's a commitment like this, you can't just look at what you give. It has to be, you know, somewhere in that, you have to get something out of it. And for me, this is just one of the most personally rewarding things I've ever done in my life. But if you're thinking about becoming a CASA, you know, it doesn't have to be a 24/7 kind of thing. I mean, I have huge family commitments and business commitments, but so often it's just like a matter of an email or a text or a phone call. And we don't have to become professionals in terms of, dependency law or special education or even parenting. All we do is listen and then take action. Now, I'm happy to report that Junior is thriving. I mean, he really is. He's in a placement with a family who loves him, and they support him, and they see all of the magical potential that he has inside and out. And I can honestly say that's because of CASA. Not because of me. I don't mean it like that. I didn't do anything special that, made this outcome come about. But what CASA did was provide the structure so that we could support Junior through all of the dozens of forks in the road where he could have gone off the rails. He worked so hard and he didn't go off the rails. But the tools that we were able to give him are the things that I think made the difference. Junior is well on his way to becoming the man of his own dreams. I really think that. And I believe wholeheartedly that it wouldn't really have happened if it had not been for CASA.
Wow, thank you, Sam. We're so grateful for your support of the children and youth. And for everyone at home, it's your support that makes stories like Sam's possible. And we may not be in the Beverly Hilton ballroom tonight, but there's no less need for us to be present together and show our support together right now. In fact, that need is more profound than ever, because it's times like these when our children and youth are precisely at their most vulnerable. And it's times like these when our volunteers also need an extra boost of support from our community. Remember, advocacy, recruitment, and training cost CASA LA millions of dollars a year, and we need your support as there are hundreds of children and youth still waiting on our waiting lists for a CASA volunteer. We need to train the CASA volunteers to provide the love and be stable and consistent people in our children's lives so that those children can succeed in school and in life. Did you know that there are 30,000 children and youth in LA County's child welfare system? Your support enables us to train more volunteers so that the number of children and youth we serve can be increased. And we reduce the number of children in the foster care system. The only way we can do this is with your support. It's your commitment that makes all the difference. And that brings us to this hour. It's this hour, right now, that is the most critical hour of CASA LA's fundraising year. And we're now asking you to come together and raise up your hands and your virtual paddles and donate at the maximum amount you feel inspired to. You can do this by going to our website right now, casala.org, and following the instructions there, or by texting CASA Live Give to 243725. I know many of you are used to being at the Beverly Hilton for our annual gala, but unprecedented events like this pandemic require unprecedented action. The stakes are terrifyingly high during this time for the children and families already struggling. Now, we are prepared to support and protect the children and youth in the foster care system more than we ever have been. But we still need your financial support because we need to be sure that we have the funds to keep the children and youth in the foster care system safe. With most people in LA County now sheltering in place, there is less oversight and direct observation of child abuse and neglect. Our volunteers are needed now more than ever to stay in touch with the children and the youth in a situation that is very scary and comes with very real risks for them. So we need your support so that volunteers like Sam can help the children in the foster care system onto the next stage of their lives. Once again, this right now is your time to act. Make a donation to support CASA of Los Angeles by texting CASA Live Give to 243725.
Hey guys, Andy Grammer here. I know that we're all in an intense time right now. And when I think of children in foster care during this time, it's even more heartbreaking. Fortunately, there's an incredible organization called CASA of Los Angeles, and they advocate for children in foster care. And they need volunteers, they need helpers, they need donations. So please donate to them tonight, like right now. Donate to them, and we'll all get through this together. And we all feel better when we look out for each other. So please, please, please help.
Hi, I'm Rhea Perlman. Look, it's always a terrible situation when a child is taken away from their parents. It can be life-saving, but it is scary and lonely and bewildering. They're thrust into a system that is way overloaded. Their social worker may have 25 other cases, their lawyer over 200, and the judge 1,000. A CASA has one. A CASA is a well-trained volunteer who becomes expertly familiar with one child's case and represents them in court and advocates for all of their needs: medical, mental health, educational. Now, if you've ever advocated for your own child's needs, or for yourself even, through the myriad of systems we have to deal with, you know how frustrating that can be, how persistent you have to be, how time-consuming, how many emails, how many phone calls you have to make to get the results you're looking for. That's what a CASA does. I have talked to many foster kids over the years, and if they're lucky enough to have been given a CASA, that's the person they count on. They know that their CASA is always there for them. Ideally, all 30,000 kids in the LA County foster system would have a CASA. That's a dream, but with your help, maybe it can become closer to reality.
Hi everyone, Alan Moroka here. If you have kids, you might know me as Alan, the owner of Hooper's Store on Sesame Street. These are difficult times for everyone. For many, the first thought is to make sure that your children are safe. But who is looking out for children in foster care? CASA of Los Angeles is. CASA LA advocates and cares for the most vulnerable children in LA County who have experienced abuse and neglect. CASA volunteers work one-on-one with children in foster care to make sure that they are well protected and getting the services that they need. So, please consider becoming a CASA volunteer or make a donation to make a difference in a child's life. Thank you so much. Have a great one.
Please join us in welcoming our next performer and a former CASA youth, Ruth.
We had only a brief moment in the sun while these results are tragic. But will you help that rose grow or demand more damage? So please, come from a place of understanding that some people have much trauma that's profoundly rooted within their families. You see, these seeds been planted. But will you help that rose grow or demand more damage? A brief moment in the sun while these results are tragic. But we're still standing. Come take a walk in our shoes. Imagine how our feet feel in a life we didn't choose, where there's an illusionary nature to resilient to prove. The language within these laws only leave valid clues. Like you, we still get emancipated. But who's held accountable? Nobody's there to renovate this. Equality is hard to be demonstrated while a life is being imitated upon a piece of paper. But maybe later, you'll hear that soul speak, striving to bear life upon some concrete. With wounded petals, waiting for winds to settle. In silence, simply gasping for air. You see, love and time is a healing pair. So I thank you for your deeds. A genuine heart is rare. 'Cause the culture that surrounds teaches us not to care. Cast it into a cascade, influences are unfair. Tunneled into a system, but nobody really cares.
Hi, I'm Rachel Bilson. I am also the granddaughter of Rennie Bilson, who you just saw in that beautiful video. My grandmother has been a CASA volunteer for over 30 years, She has advocated for 39 children and youth in foster care, ranging in age from 3 months to 20 years. I have seen firsthand how she has not only helped change the lives of so many children, but how her life has been changed by helping them. Which is why I am so happy to be a part of CASA LA Live. We can raise the funds that CASA needs to continue recruiting volunteers like my grandmother to help children in the foster care system. When we first went into quarantine, my first concern was making sure my own child was safe and healthy. But who's looking out for the children in foster care? I began to hear stories of CASA volunteers who immediately connected with their CASA child on daily or weekly phone calls. CASA volunteers who secured donated laptops so their youth were able to participate in online classes or found a way to deliver cupcakes to celebrate their CASA child's birthday. I am so inspired by all the CASA volunteers who are truly making a difference in a child's life and giving so much hope during this uncertain time. Every child in foster care needs a caring adult in their life who makes sure their needs and best interests are being met. And even more importantly, to make sure they are not alone. A CASA volunteer is that person. So please join me in supporting CASA of Los Angeles and their wonderful volunteers. Volunteers just like my grandmother. Thanks.
Into the home stretch, my loves, but this home stretch lasts all the way through next week, as bidding on the 26 marvelous packages in our online silent auction will continue through Tuesday, May 12th. There's a round at the ultra-exclusive Riviera Country Club in Pacific Palisades. Skip the $250,000 membership fee, bid on this, get a round in, and lunch in the main room included. Or how about item 404, Aloha Hawaii, where you'll be saying aloha to that long overdue vacation to Kauai, 8 days with return flights, regards of Hawaiian Airlines. Mahalo, Hawaiian. Or maybe you'd like to stay closer to home. Item 406 is a beachfront getaway in Santa Barbara at the Rick Caruso-built Rosewood Miramar Beach Resort in Montecito, where you'll enjoy a 2-night stay in a lanai guest room with a guided tour of a canyon winery for a wine tasting and food pairing. Delish. And remember, most of the dates for fulfillment on the travel packages are valid through spring of next year due to the COVID crisis, so not to worry about that. We also have other gems like the 3-day Palm Springs staycation, a guided adventure tour through Joshua Tree, and a Harley-Davidson experience, all open for your bids through next Tuesday, May 12th, at bidpal.net/CASA Live. Oh, and don't forget our featured items. 3 of them, remember? The Goodyear Blimp, item 101. You and a guest can join a very exclusive club of aerial travelers with a flight over LA on the Goodyear airship. Or the trip to Normandy, France, item 102. In a 300-year-old manor house, your chance to stay in this beautiful 18th century private manor house with 10 people located in the Mayenne region. You can take day trips to the Loire Valley, Mont Saint-Michel, or the heart of the Battle of Normandy. And for those interested in the ultimate golf and spa vacation, please see item 103. This is an incredible vacation at the 5-star Grand Lux Resort in Puerto Vallarta with 16 rounds of golf on the Greg Norman course and 2 free massages included. You'll stay in sheer luxury in a 2,300 square foot condo with 2 master bedrooms and concierge to help make you all your arrangements. Bidding closes on these 3 featured items in just a few minutes. So go to bidpal.net/CASA Live to bid on these items and support CASA of Los Angeles.
Hi everybody, it's Wendy again. We've reached the end of our event and I want to say thank you to all our hundreds of sponsors. You all are so incredible. Thank you to the people who sponsored the gala before we canceled it and who stuck with us. That means so much to us. Thank you to those of you who stepped up during this crisis and who donated tonight. You all are incredible and we couldn't do this without you. And I want to send a special toast to my friends, Carolyn and Lou Lucido, the underwriters of tonight's event. We appreciate your longtime support and you are dear friends. We'd also like to thank a new supporter, Live Nation, who came in at the patron level. You're amazing. We also have some incredible advocate level sponsors, including our board chair, Harriet Zaretsky and Steve Henry. Thank you also to Wendy and Barry Meyer, Dina and Ed Namias, and Skechers for coming in at that level. We couldn't do this work without you. Thank you to all our sponsors. I just want to leave you with a sense of hope for what CASA means and brings to children in foster care, because these kids deserve our help and they need our help, and we are so thankful to be able to be a part of their lives. So thank you to all our volunteers. Thank you to all our sponsors. And we will continue that work of bringing light and love to the lives of children in foster care thanks to you. Have a wonderful evening.
That's it, you guys. Thank you so much for being here, for supporting CASA of Los Angeles. Please remember to keep bidding on those amazing silent auction packages. It'll go through Tuesday, May 12th. That means you have 1 week.
1 week.
From today. Get those bids in. Go to
bidpal.net/CASA Live.
get them in.
We hope to see you next year at the gala in person at the Beverly Hilton. We're honoring Jackie Dolan, the founder of CASA Los Angeles, and the late Honorable Peter Giannini, the judge who actually founded the CASA programs. We're also honoring CASA volunteer Aaron Foster and Larry Gilson from Focusing Philanthropy. Thank you,
guys.
Thank you so much.
Stay safe.
Good night.